Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment ESRB rating is M for mature, for blood, drug reference, and violence.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
The butler did it. Welcome everyone to another fantastic episode of Is It Worth It? And on today's spotlight we have the original detective, Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, rate the video. My name is Rox, and as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the review. This title came out of nowhere for me. It wasn't even on my radar at all, but then I accidentally came across the trailer, and through that I realized that it's supposed to be like the CSI games I played on the 360, a kind of forensics interactive puzzle game to solve the mysteries. But does this game deliver on the excitement and intrigue, or does the case just go cold? Well, here are my thoughts. Graphically, I was impressed on how the human models look. I thought they were well animated and voice acted decently enough to talk to them during interviews and interrogations. The timeline sits around the 1900s in London, and you play as the extremely observant detective Sherlock Holmes, a brilliant detective who investigates crime scenes using forensic methods and calculating interviews. As a detective, you are in the mind of Holmes, and you are free to interview, gather clues, and then solve the mystery of the crime. During the interviews, Holmes can study people's reactions down to the clothes they are wearing and guess a bit of the person's personality and even history.
To the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
This is an interactive puzzle game, and the gameplay can be switched between the first-person view or a third-person view. However, third-person has some real awkward control issues. It's best to be in first-person control as it is easier to navigate around. He gathers his clues in his mind, and it's up to the player to analyze the clues and decide which hold true and which are lies. This is done with comparables. In the clue screen, there is a pool of statements floating together, and you must match two possible statements in order to make a theory. Sometimes these theories can have two opposite conclusions. As you are made to make a choice of which you believe to be more factual, you'll be making many theories as you investigate the mystery. But the more of the theories support each other's evidence, neural vines will interconnect and reveal a single conclusion. However, you can make the wrong decisions as well, because this game has multiple conclusions. As far as I could find, there are 3 possible conclusions to each crime, and yes, that means you can send an innocent person to jail.
You are wrong. I have nothing whatsoever to do with this.
You'll explain that to the judge.
It's in the detail that people don't tell you that you can usually find the flaws in their alibis. Get this though, you can choose to absolve the accused for the crime that they committed, or you can condemn them to life in prison. This is an area the game calls the moral choice. At the end of each solved crime, depending on your decision here, you can also affect the outcome of your overall ranking score at the end of each mystery, although I didn't see the ranking score affecting anything else in the game. The game holds 6 crimes to solve. Some are longer and deeper than others, and some are weaker in story than others. There isn't a real order you need to solve these crimes. They're all replayable once you conclude them at least once. However, the first time you play the game, you're not free to choose which crime you want to investigate first. Instead, you unlock the next investigation as you conclude the last one, and then you have the choice to replay them. This brings me to the very first flaw of the game, the fact that after each moral choice I make at the end of each crime, I'm given the choice to peek if I actually made the right decision on that case. By pressing the back button at the end of the moral choice screen, if the person's name lights up in red text, I know that I selected the wrong suspect, to which I'm allowed to make another decision. If I choose to pick someone else for the crime, I'm taken back to the clue screen and allowed to rearrange my evidence to make a completely different conclusion and choose a new murder suspect. The problem with this simple quick peek issue is that it kills any chance of replayability for this game. Why would I want to play a game if I can cheat before I turn in my answers? Now, you don't have to cheat, but it's kind of hard not to when the incentive is right there in your face. This takes me to the second flaw of this game. It's the skip button. When trying to solve puzzles, this game has a lot of intricate puzzles like 3D puzzles and visual puzzles. If you like puzzle solving, you'll like this game. But you can easily bypass the puzzle by pressing the skip button. I mean, you can just press it and the entire puzzle just goes away. Now, I know you don't have to press it, but I guess it's not a bad thing, but this game has a lot of watered down gameplay that is made too easy, and there isn't a difficulty option either. Holmes doesn't have any supernatural abilities. His specialties are more conventional, like using his imagination.
Try using your imagination
To envision scenarios, focusing ability to look for hidden clues that are easily missed. His home serves as his bat cave, if you will. There he can conduct experiments, search for historical documents, newspaper archives, and use his special makeup table for disguises. Another common place you'll be visiting frequently will be Scotland Yard, the police station, and here you can examine bodies at the morgue, inspect evidence for clues, and interrogate suspects.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
In some cases, you will be able to use other characters in the game and switch back and forth, like his fellow partner in crime, Dr. Watson, or even his special dog to sniff out clues. Holmes always carries with him his handy notebook, and here you have access to current tasks, map destinations, evidence log, character logs, and dialogue logs. The world map of Sherlock Holmes is limited to each investigation. Each location travel is a loading screen where Holmes sits in his carriage and you're allowed to go over tasks or evidence. Once you are ready to enter the next setting, you just tap the continue button. Once you enter the areas, you are free to roam around and investigate the crime scenes, although you are not allowed to leave and can't leave the designated areas, because if you try, then you are met with a map screen. Finally, there isn't much of a soundtrack in this game. It's mostly environmental ambiance or just complete silence.
What a beautiful place.
With a dreadful murder. The body of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe is still in the steam room. It has not been touched, per your usual instructions, Mr. Holmes.
So does Crime and Punishment deserve your time and money? Well, if you are into forensic crime dramas, you might find something fun here, but overall this game is very boring. The gameplay can easily put you to sleep because it's so slow. None of the characters are interesting, not even the detective himself. The voice acting is okay, but it's also very plain and uninspiring. The gameplay is so forgetful that it has no replayability. In fact, before I got to the third investigation, I almost gave up on the remaining cases because I felt like I got my full experience and there wasn't any more desire to continue. But I finished it anyway. I was shocked to find out that this game was being sold at 50 to 60 MSRP. This game is really a rental, or you can skip it for a better title worth your money. If you guys are interested in the scores of other sites, here they are. Alright, you guys, thanks again for sticking through this review. Please support this channel by sharing, rating, and subscribing. If you have any feedback on anything with the show, please leave it in the comments below. Also, keep an eye out for more reviews coming out in the next few days. Again, thanks so much for watching. My name is Rox, and I'll catch up with you guys next time.
You know.
Of course, Inspector. The case is closed.
Hello everyone, Rox here with a message that I want your support for this channel. Help me reach 100,000 subscribers by 2015, and we can do this by sharing my reviews, rants, and commentaries on every social media on the web. All you need to do is share, like, comment, and make sure to subscribe. It's free, fast, and easy. You guys, sincerely in advance, I want to say thank you for your support and encouragement to keep coming back, because you never know when I'll be putting something else up that you might like. Again, you guys, don't forget to share the video and subscribe. My name is Rox, and I'll see you guys next time.